everybody? I am your Guess I'm Going Twice in a Row, Professor Ricky.
Yeah, I've just completely relinquished the role. It's just way too much pressure.
Am I driving this train now?
You're not driving the train. Let's absolutely calm down. Let's calm down on that. But in terms of intros, yeah, go for it, bro.
You basically put me in the driver's seat of the train, and I'm shocked you didn't trust me not to wreck it, because guess what, buddy?
I guess I'm the engineer, so maybe I should be the driver of this train.
No, that's you're in the back making sure it doesn't wreck.
But hey, I'm
blow
Ethan.
Up. But hey, I'm Ethan. Not much has happened in the last, I don't know, we recorded the past Monday's episode 48 hours ago. How was your weekend, Ethan?
Yeah, I've been writing essays literally all weekend.
Oh, that's true. You did. I think you may have mentioned on the last episode I have to crush some work at this weekend, but
I'm 3.5 essays deep.
Wow.
And this last one is just, I think it's going to kill me.
I walked in, he's like, I got 4 essay done this weekend, and it's 50% of my work. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
That's shitty. But you know what? We're here to escape all that.
Yeah.
We're here to escape all of that, to talk about one of the hypest shows with one of the most hypest fans of said shows, our good friend, Dannie from Anime Summit. Hello. How are you?
Hey, guys.
All you audio folk, that was a surprise for you. All you YouTube folk are like, yeah, she's over there. Yeah.
We're already here. Sorry, but yeah.
How have you been?
Super busy. I mean, with not school. You're in school. Yeah. I'm at work. Work has just been too much. It's nonstop ever since we reopened from pandemic and everything like that. So, but podcast wise, we've been doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. So, always crazy, always slacking. It's Nick.
It's Nick. Very notorious.
Nick got a Switch, so now he's playing Breath of the Wild now, and he's all about that
instead of watching anime.
Instead of watching anime and reading for our manga club and everything.
I'll have periods of my time when I pick up a new video game. It's like Ethan be like, "Hey, did you watch your show for this week?" I'm like, "Yeah, Netflix shit." But I
can't even talk. I play Call of Duty maybe every day.
Just be a Nick and just watch everything at 2x speed.
Does he really watch everything at 2x speed?
He sometimes watches everything at 1.5 speed or 2x speed.
I don't know have the reading comprehension.
I
don't either, but apparently to him, especially when it comes to a major drama, I don't know if you guys watch Japan Sinks 2020 yet.
Really not.
I've been peeking on it though.
Okay.
Curious about it.
He's been peeking on it.
When I'm peeking on it, I'll be,
scroll by it.
Scroll by it. Huh. Should I watch this one today? Nah. Oh no, Lupin just came out. Gonna watch that instead.
Yeah. Well, according to Nick, apparently watching that show at 2x speed is hilarious.
Oh, I bet.
But it's really not. It's not hilarious at all. It's actually pretty tragic.
I would imagine.
That's so on brand.
It's about a massive earthquake.
Yeah, absolutely.
I imagine hilarious doesn't really.
According to Nick, it's hilarious at 2x speed. So.
Well, he's a crackhead, so.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he's a crackhead, though. Whatever.
No, he's a saltine head.
And I also saw the Anime Summit had Sensei Smackdown that's coming up, or maybe
it's already out.
Already out.
Out
out by the time you go listen to
Thursday,
it because
I believe it.
Was?
Yeah.
I think I saw the Instagram for it, and I was like, oh, he posted on that. Oh, Sensei Smackdown! I got to listen to that. So I'll be doing that after this, I believe, because I totally.
I think it'll make your blood boil.
Will it?
To be honest.
Oh, you gave it a listen? You want to sneak peek it?
No offense, guys, but it was blasphemy. It was pure and utter blasphemy.
Listen. I'm sorry. That's all I had to say.
It's fair enough, but oh my gosh.
But in my defense, okay? In my defense, in certain ones that people have been arguing about, I voted for. So don't yell at me. I did vote for those.
True. Am I going to be triggered for this?
You are probably going to be triggered. Yeah.
Is my boy Onizuka out in the first round? Don't. Oh no! Oh no! That is not good.
It gets worse.
It gets worse. My boy Kuro Sensei's not in there either. No! What the fuck?
Don't spoil it for him.
It's already done. It's been spoilt. I didn't even need anything, and the whole thing's rotten.
But I will give you this. The ending is at a good outcome. At least.
A long and treacherous road with light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, you're painting a real journey, so everyone go listen to that.
At least.
I'll say, of the people that lasted toward the end of the bracket, yes, it was good. But anyway.
Also, in Nick's defense, it was Mal who created the seed matching for all the characters, so he just blames everything on Mal.
It's not the seeding that was the problem. It was the lack of watching the two shows that needed to be watched.
Yeah.
So
that is actually true too.
100%.
Wow.
But like I said, even though the lack of watching, I did still.
And his arguments were doggy crap.
Oh, Nick's, yeah, of course. Like it's
it was like he didn't even want them to win.
No, he really didn't. Although I did get him to vote for one certain person.
Yes, true.
So,
true.
Yo, I'm legit
and I wasn't
really
even
scared to listen to
and
this.
I wasn't even trying at that point.
Yeah, I was surprised that he went with that one.
I was surprised too. I was like, "Are you serious right now? Like, wait, what's going on?" Like that whole episode, me and Nick were kind of like agreeing for something, like, and it was really weird.
So Twilight Zone music started playing.
Yeah.
And then he finally diverged and everything felt right in the world again. Just being an absolute troll. I don't even have to I know.
He was really mad. He wasn't really too much of a troll on this episode, which was really weird.
I mean, y'all were lucky I wasn't there. And the same thing happened, I would have been such a little turd.
I mean, we're probably gonna have like more sensei smackdowns, and when Sam told me that we were gonna do a sensei showdown, I was like, we should have had the Weebology guys on.
Yeah,
because
like, my sensei game's strong though. Yes,
the professor's right here.
It makes sense.
So
it only makes sense.
Sam, I know you're listening. Come on, we'll come on for round 2. We'll do it.
But like we didn't have the Anime Brothers on our podcast yet, so like it was kind of like
oh really? You were on theirs?
Yeah, all three of us like individually. We were all on there. Nick and I were on there first, then Sam was, and then I was on there again for like a romance shoujo episode for them.
I do listen to them. I'm gonna
They're
be honest.
funny. Like I really enjoyed their chemistry and everything like that.
They seem like good lads.
They are.
Lads.
They're a little. I feel like how they act as like personality wise, they're very like old people, especially Earthworm. I love them, but like they're just like, I don't know how to do this. Like, what is internet? What is technology?
Yeah.
So
I mean, let's not start throwing shade with Nick on your cast, man. The dude doesn't get it.
No,
anyway,
he doesn't.
We will be having the Anime Brothers in February on
nice.
show.
Awesome.
Yes. Stick around for that.
Yay.
And it feels like you get thrown around a lot as the resident expert in just kind of the space of podcasters we have as the romance shoujo. Because I feel like if I had to guess, I was on this show talking about, let me guess, romance or shoujo. And you're like,
Haikyu.
Or Haikyu, yeah.
True.
If you could tell by me and Danny's wear today, we are talking about the most recent part of season 4 for Haikyu.
Yes.
So hype. This season ended so beautifully. It's everywhere we Haikyu. Overall,
hype.
Oh. I was like, Haikyu.
No.
And like a hard hit spike, it whooshes over the blocking. Like a bad joke.
It was terrible.
The worst. But yeah, okay.
I'll have more.
I'm here for seconds. So we are saying this is the second part. Danny, if you would do us the honors, when this part starts, where are we? Where is Krasno? Where is everybody
So
at?
everyone in Krasno, they made it to nationals and everything like that. Yay! Woohoo!
Finally. To the top, baby.
And at the end of part 1 of To the Top, they are just starting their battle with Inarizaki.
Yes.
So we already know kind of about Atsumo from the All Japan training camp with Kageyama and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we also get to see the rest of the team.
Kind of all their development, right?
Yeah. And me personally, I'm gonna go to my notes.
She got notes.
So a little thing about me.
The best statements always start with a little thing about me.
I pretty much rewatched all of To the Top again.
Cards on the table.
From part 1 all the way down to part 2.
Little thing about me, I hit up the wiki and the character list about 15 minutes before the episode starts, if it's been a while. But I remember everything. I mean, especially the second part, because like...
Well, second part is so fresh and everything because
I finished most of it yesterday. So
freshest on the list.
I mean, personally, especially when it comes to matches and Haikyu and everything, it's just good to just binge it all because 100%. It's just there for you, and that's how I felt like with part 1. I felt like part 1 gave us major blue balls.
100%.
Yes. Like major blue balls. And I was just like, shit, like it just started. Like this match just started and Atsumo is like in control of the Inarizaki band and crowd and everything like that. Like with his fucking conducting.
Sickest part of this freaking
like
when he stops the entire band to silence.
Literally.
And it's always like so like so much gravitas every time he does it. Like his face has all those extra like
lines.
So much Sakuga just for that moment. And
so
do you think there was an intentional blue balls, right? It had to have been.
It had to have been. And this is why like I was upset. Because I'm like, fuck, like, you just got me, like, all hyped up and everything, and now I have to wait for the second part to come out. Then the pandemic came, so now we had to wait even longer.
I will say, that's, like, my only one, like, I would guess, critique of Haikyu is they do, like, weird numbers of episodes for seasons.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that season 3, quote-unquote, was, like, 10 episodes, I think, or 8 episodes. It was like a little JoJo-esque in the beginning of JoJo where it would just be like random every fucking time. You never know. And so,
well,
I would like more chunks done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's because of the way the show is, right? You can't do that much hype and that much like
at the same time, I feel like the reason why they split to the top in 2 parts was because at the time, the manga was still ongoing, but I think because this past summer, like in I think it was July 2020, Haikyu, like the manga ended, it concluded and everything like that. So I think they just wanted to wait and just get a little bit more. So they're not gonna do like any original content and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
So, I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. You know, they could just, production IG could just be like fucking assholes. And they're like, we're just going to blue ball you this whole way. Like,
speaking of blue ball, I almost feel like what you said about I need to sit down and binge it is very correct. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a product of sports shows. Maybe it's just a product of this one. I got a little bit with this, with Kuroko Basket, but when you have basically a span of time that is the length of like a game of volleyball or basketball or something like that, and you're stretching that one period over runtime, something very equivalent, like 3 hours of time for a 3-hour match, but then spacing that out weekly, does it generate hype? Yes. Do I feel like it takes so long to feel cohesive?
Yeah.
Also, yes. I forget all the time, like, okay, what happened last time? Because I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's the reason that I waited this time till it was like completely done to watch
smart,
it.
Yeah.
Because I would have been so annoyed if I was up and down every week. And I think that's really the big deal, right? So I think how they manufacture like hype and like gravitas in general for this show is they have them feel like they're getting their shit absolutely rocked, like insurmountably.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it'll turn around and they'll be like, they're going to win this in like two minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it happens again where they lose for, 5 minutes straight.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And that's the thing I feel, not only that, but like if you go on Verve or I think even Crunchyroll, I have Verve, I don't have Crunchyroll, but like for Verve, what they did with To the Top, they combined it both part 1 and part 2. So
really?
They did. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like with part 1 of To the Top, it goes from episode 1 to 13, and then they have part 2, which it just starts right into episode 14. So it's a full length 24 episode season.
Okay. In
So-
Crunchyroll, it has 1 to 25 straight.
Straight up.
Yeah.
So
Oh, 25. Yeah, that's what it is.
So
yeah.
I mean, we know that a lot of shows in general, not even just this genre lately, do this two-parter kind of straddle the seasons and have one part, two part. Does it work for this show? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think like for ReZero, yes, it did.
Well, I can't speak for ReZero, but me as a Haikyu fan, I don't like this whole like give me 13 episodes. Oh, great. Now I have to wait an entire season for the second part of it.
I'm more on your page where...
Just give me all of it.
And honestly...
That's all I want. Just give me all of it.
One match being one season feels like a little bit aggressive.
That I actually talked to Shaw about that.
Yeah.
Because...
Shocking from
from Tokyo Podfathers. She is another hype Haikyu fan. I had her on my podcast and we kind of did like an extra episode kind of thing. And we just talked about To the Top. And I mentioned to her how I wasn't like too keen on like just having season 3 only like 10 episodes.
Right.
And what she said was, well, yeah, even though that season was pretty short, for that type of thing, that whole season was, Karasuno versus Shiratorizawa. And you don't want to have like, training camps in between that, because right after when they beat Alba Josai, you have to go right into that those finals. So just by having just that season 3 as a 10 episode season with just focusing on that match, because the real like cookies and cream of Haikyu is the battle of the garbage dump. Which
Nakama, we're waiting for that.
Yeah, which is Karasuno and Net versus Nakama.
I want to go back to cookies and cream real quick. That was a very interesting.
Like thinking of, do you want Oreos?
Yeah, you want some Oreos or something? Because I've heard like the meat of this, the real core of it, the cookies and cream. I've never heard that before.
It's better, honestly.
I might be using that in the future already. The real cookies and cream of this show. You listen right now. The cookies, not the cream.
I'm sorry, but cookies and cream is way better than just regular cookies.
Oh, yeah, I mean, why not?
Depends on the cookie. I'll go in on this.
So I will say, I think, yes, you can make it a one match per season, but then to only do 10 episodes, and you know how they cut out like a lot of the match, and it'll be like massive swings and scores every time they kind of like basically look back at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
They could just extend it a little bit, show us a little bit more of the team, or show us the other team more.
Yeah,
because that's one thing they do insanely well in this show, is they show both sides so much and so in depth that it makes you like both teams, even the one that's like against Karasuno.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially with Inarizaki. Like
such an awesome team.
I mean,
superstars.
even not just Inarizaki, but also like the non-careable teams as well. Like they go into like their backstory and like all that kind of stuff. And obviously we know that they're going to lose and everything like that. But they set you up to care about the other 100%. Team.
Yeah.
So
this is Haikyu To the Top to the Tear Factory.
Yeah.
There's like 5 to 6 times this season where I was like, what the fuck are they doing to me?
For me, because I think it's been this way a couple of the bigger matches in like season 3 and 4 where like by the beginning I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Karasuno. And then there's a point in the middle where I'm like, for a second, man, it would be a bummer if like Inarizaki lost or like basically
it's like Karasuno, they're my boys. Like what are you doing to my boys for like? But then they like give you like a curveball and they're like, oh, here's a backstory for the Inarizaki team. It's like, no, why are you setting me up to care about this other team? Like I'm here for my boys.
I pair that though with, you notice, especially I saw it very much in this second half, but in the entire 4th season, when a loss occurs of the opposing team or whoever did lose, losing always seems to have a positive outcome. I'm more determined. I feel validated, and I grew personally. Our team grew closer through this. And I think that, coupled with what we were talking about, how each team kind of gets its own credence in the story, that mixture keeps everything not too antagonistic, right? Of course, you're on the court, but it feels more like a battling of great individuals rather than like, you know, a good versus evil, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean...
Sports doesn't always go that way either. That's the thing.
Especially here in the States, like it's.
I mean, we try to kill each other when we're playing.
Literally, like
our job is to injure you.
It's win or lose. Like it's always about winning. Like no one really cares about the losers too much. But like with Haikyu,
you suck.
You didn't have what it takes.
Get good, kid.
with Haikyu, it's all like they're like telling you, oh, it's okay to lose. Like just work harder next time and stuff like that. So
yeah.
So the one kind of heel to that though is because of the way they do sports in Japan, and you can only play for your 3 years of high school. The gravitas of, like, say Karasuno loses a match, like, you're never seeing Daiichi again.
Oh, yeah.
You're never seeing Azumane.
Yep.
You're not seeing Sugawara or whatever his name is. Like,
it's Sugawara. You got it right. Or Suga.
The show could go on without those three. At least for me, I would, like, lose my freaking soul.
Oh, right. Yeah. And these kinds of shows built in something so closely tied, and this isn't just anime, any show that has a high school or college background setting or a middle school background setting or whatever age it is, it's finite by design. I mean, school is meant to be gone through and then left certain stages. So I think for a sports show to be very closely tied to that, you have a finite end coming. You can't just ramble it off, right?
Yeah.
If they do a Haikyu The Next Generation, I'm going to lose my fucking mind, which is the Boruto bullshit, right?
Yeah.
The finality doesn't stick hard when it's not the final thing, right?
Well, I think this obviously is not even close to like a Naruto.
We
Boruto
know that. We know that
situation.
end is already there, but
I'm just saying you could easily do a sequel of this.
Of course.
Like, you know, having people come up after, you know, Hinata and these guys and be like, wow, I want to be the new tiny giant.
The new tiny giant.
Ideally not that, but, you know, just like, you know, because then you could say like, okay, Kageyama went on to become a professional volleyball player, yada yada yada. Like you could get that like final closure.
Haikyu GT.
Oh god.
Exactly.
The dystopian future where they're all like the most savage players in the world and they meet again.
I'm gonna spike this
Would you
guy's
want
face
that?
off.
You wouldn't want that, would you?
A Haikyu GT. If we're referring it like how Dragon Ball was. Absolutely not.
All right, Haikyu Super then. Let's go there.
But I mean, but I do watch my fair share of sports shows, and aside from Haikyu, one of my other like all-time favorite sports shows is Yowamushi Pedal, and Yowamushi Pedal actually did move on past their third years that were main characters.
Oh, interesting. Did that work out for the story?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It's still good. Like, I still enjoyed it because, you know, they're still, like, the characters that were there from the very beginning. And then, you know, they just tried. The whole point with that show, and I don't really want to get too into that because we're talking about Haikyu. But, like, with Yowamushi Pedal, they definitely focused on the second years and developing the first years who are now second years now. They didn't really introduce like too many like first years, but
so they used the tutelage aspect to give it some kind of like connective tissue essentially across it.
Well, I'm just gonna say this right now: if they don't get some sick first years next year for Karasuno, their team's gonna suck ass.
They are. There's such a deep wave. Yeah, it's really kind of what's going on here.
But you also have to think about
there's
like,
two guys on the bench who can play. The rest are trash.
They can
that's
kind of
true,
play.
but like, you know, the second years for Karasuno, like they definitely have potential. You know, a handful of them.
It just seems like
a handful, not a team makes. You know, like
well, right.
But I mean, like, you are right.
You
like
really need
they
one
definitely
of those like massive Kanagawa type guys.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely need like if
like
they
a 7-footer.
if they do decide to do like a spin-off.
Yeah. Chow Ming, maybe.
Yeah. But no, for sure. Like, I 100% agree with you. Like, they are going to need at least, like, maybe 3 more, like, godly, insanely talented players. So, or else, like, Karasuno is going to be in trouble again. And not only that, but, like, during part 1 of the 4th season, when they were, it was just a practice match, like, against Datek. Like, Ukai even said, like, next year, Datek is going to be our most, like, phenomenal opponent.
Because
like,
they got the deepness.
They're going to be trouble.
So I got to ask you guys this, because I've been feeling this since I finished this episode, or this season.
Yep.
Do you feel like they do a bad job of, like, for instance, him saying Datek's going to be so good next year, but then at the end of the Nationals, like, it feels like Karasuno is basically becoming a brand new team already, and they're like 20 million times better. And then even at the end of this episode, the last episode, they basically are saying, okay, the next match is against Nekoma. Nekoma's gonna get trashed, and I'm like, they are gonna get trashed if, like, what we're seeing on the screen is legit.
Well,
that's a good question.
The reason why, like, all these, like, side characters are saying, "Oh, Karasuno is so good," because they literally beat, like, the top two
teams in
top two,
Japan.
like,
back to back,
beat
smack
the top
to smack.
Two, like,
but
well,
that's what
especially
I'm saying. How can Nekoma put up a fight? That's ridiculous.
Well, not if I don't know. Did you guys watch the OVAs?
No.
Haikyu, Land versus Air.
No.
Oh,
that's about Nekoma.
Was
it's only
not,
2 episodes.
I thought that was a lump of a couple episodes and made it like one string of events for a match, or was it something completely different that wasn't in the show?
She's talking about an OVA.
There's an OVA for about
but that wasn't related.
I haven't watched it for sure.
Correct.
Okay, watch it.
We'll put
It's only 2 episodes. It's an easy watch.
But there's already stuff on the list of stuff Danny told us to watch, but we actually never watched it and are too scared to say it out loud.
I'm like 40 episodes into Nana, and it's terrible.
I hate it. Oh, my
You brought
God.
this up intermittently.
But this isn't about
God,
This
I
isn't
know.
about
This
that.
isn't about that.
I'll have to come back on for that. You got to watch some romance there, mister. You said you were going to watch something, but
Against
that's
something
it.
against the
It's
rain or
great.
something? Against the rain or something? Or is that the one? Or
After the rain, you
after
said that you were going to watch.
After the rain. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I know. I've already.
Clearly
Yeah,
watched
right.
it.
So
Yeah,
Haikyu,
right.
y'all, like.
I can see it in your face
Ethan's
and everyone
air
else
off.
on
It's
YouTube.
so hot in here. All of a sudden,
Freezing
she's just
in
like
here, actually.
sweating right now. But yeah, I don't think they have a chance. I think that's what's going to be.
know.
That's what it's
I
going to
don't
be.
know.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I don't think they do a good job of, like, showing the opponents being disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
For real, after this match that just happened, they literally just beat number 1 and number 2 team in Japan. For them to even, like, really be pressed at all by Nekoma is ridiculous.
Counterpoint.
Shuri Torizawa is number 1 in Karasuno's prefecture.
But, I mean, they said...
Inarizaki
Big fish, little
is
pond.
number 2 in all Japan. Yeah. So, but, like...
But I think they had mentioned earlier in, like, last season or season 3 that... Like, they were favored to win the tournament.
They were, yeah. And
So I would consider
obviously,
that
That's kind of an in, yeah.
obviously, Shuri Torizawa is the favorite to win. And with Inarizaki versus Karasuno, Inarizaki is favored to win because, let's face it, they are fucking scary. Like,
I mean, they're
especially,
nasty.
especially like
it's
they
stupid.
are nasty.
Yeah.
Especially the twins, like them
twins.
copying the free quick. Like, them copying the free quick.
Yeah.
That was like,
so gnarly. And
are you kidding right now?
They're the gold silver trope that we see in a lot of anime.
Yeah.
I loved it because that is a natural predator for Hinata and Kageyama.
That's
like,
their, like, main ammunition of,
Yeah.
like,
being able to kind of
introducing
swap.
Karasuno and, like, how much of, like, an upcoming powerhouse team they're going to be.
I want to say counterpoint though to the Nekomoya thing. Nekoma. Sorry. Wow.
Wow.
I was thinking of talking about Nishinoya.
Nishinoya?
Yeah, and it just melted in my brain. But I'll talk about it in a second. But I think counterpoint is maybe there's kind of a shoehorning try to get two underdog stories to converge here because they seem like they have no chance, right? We're watching an underdog story unfold here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that sense of there's no fucking way that they're going to come in and beat Karasuno.
That's the thing about me.
I
hate underdog stories. I think they're
And yet you
freaking
like this
stupid
one.
as shit. No, they're great.
Okay.
Karasuno is phenomenal at volleyball.
Volleyball, right.
They have techniques and skills that no other team can really deal with.
Right.
So they're not really underdogs, right? So for me, saying like, even Kenma mentions in the very last episode, do you think we could have beaten Inarizaki and whatever Shiratorizawa? And they're like, no, but you don't have to say it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how much of this is going to be like, well, we're persevering and we're fighting our rivals. Now, if they had mentioned it's like a rival match and that levels the playing field, that's super realistic to real life.
That's
I mean, regardless, it's still a rival match. The next season is going to be a rival match because if we remember the history between Nekoma and Karasuno, they've always done practice matches, but they never got the chance to actually play in an official match.
It just feels insurmountable at this point because, near the end of this season here, I mean, our boys are absolutely flying high.
They're
freaking
huge.
Kageyama's got his shit absolutely together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hinata was a scoring freaking machine. I swear to God.
And on top of that,
everything.
That's it. We're 30 minutes in. Some kind of like technique spoilers, I guess, for the characters of the show. Definitely go fucking watch it if you haven't. I'm shocked that what are you doing right now and you haven't?
This is the 4th fucking season. If you haven't watched
Danny,
it
lay
by
it down
now,
at him right now. Give it to him.
Absolutely drop it.
just drop it.
Yeah.
Just
Drop it. Drop the
skip
class.
this
Don't do that, actually.
episode and just move on to the next class. Okay, thanks. Bye.
And that's been the episode. But yeah, no, the receiving, that shit got me so hype. But I had to ask myself, why did they do it again over something so mundane? Because we had the jump from the last part. Where was that last part?
Yeah.
Where he learned how to
first part.
freaking jump form. And they made that so hype. And they did it again with receiving. When he had that ball boy ultra instinct
Well, that was
power
the
up.
thing. That's why like both part 1 and part 2 have major character development for Karasuno.
Yes.
I mean, not just for Hinata, for Tanaka.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was getting bullied on that court against Inarizaki. They were blocking him left and right and everything like that. This and that and the third. And Tanaka even went to Kageyama as like, hey, I'm just gonna swallow my pride right now. Send me less sets. Yeah. And Kageyama flat out said no.
Yeah.
That was potentially the best scene of the whole season.
Like,
nope,
hey,
like,
no.
because that's like, I don't want to do any more work. I don't think I can get it cut. Like, well, too bad. Like, I gotta send.
Like,
I'm sending
fuck
you.
no, man. Sorry. Like we need you. Literally, we need you.
Yeah.
And boom, like fucking Tanaka made that cross shot.
Oh,
like,
so dirty,
dude. That gave me goosebumps when he fucking like when that swoops.
And his sister started crying. I was like, "Oh,
dude,
Tanaka,
okay,
my boy."
I need to say something.
Do it.
But,
I know what you're gonna say too.
When the crowd was booing and everything like that against like Karasuno and everything, and then fucking Tanaka's sister comes in with the traditional Japanese drums and the flutes.
She is baller as fuck.
Dude,
I love one of
her.
the best side characters of the entire show.
She's great. Absolutely great. Wonderful. Love that girl. Soul, everything. Like I didn't even know she could freaking drum, and she's like banging away and everything like that.
Change your tempo, baby.
I love it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this season, obviously, like the early stuff is a little harder to remember, but all the stuff that we got to see this part of the season, like it was, like I said, an absolute roller coaster because they would, have 3 points where they lost, and you're like, they're fucked.
It was insane. Like, I feel like I literally was on the edge of my seat more throughout this match than I was with Shiratorizawa. Because, I mean, Inarizaki didn't, like, sprain fingers or anything like that, like Ushiwaka did with Suki's fingers. Like, he literally almost fractured his fingers.
So Nishinoya hurt himself in this match.
Yes.
And sprained his fingers. I was actually thinking this. Do you think this show could ratchet up the hype even harder by having someone get like a serious like foot injury or a knee injury.
Oh
Because
my
I
God.
think it's almost ridiculous that they're this far into like a very jumpy sport and have like no real like lower body injuries.
Well, hold on. We did have ponytail guy at
Asumane.
Asumane. That's it. Didn't he kind of come back with an injury early on in the show? Wasn't he kind of rehabilitated or?
I don't know. I don't recall that.
Yeah, but
Like, remember that there's this one scene where Mia, the Atsuma, Mia, does this like absolutely ridiculous move where he's like basically
What
lunges,
move? He does ridiculous moves
Oh,
all the
yeah.
over,
time.
and he's like super low.
oh, he does
Oh, yeah,
the
and he
big
does, like,
real
a-
low
Basically
set.
a massive lunge
Yeah.
set. And I'm thinking, what if he hurts himself there? And then Karasuno wins, but they don't feel good about the win because they didn't get to like fight them at their best. Like imagine how like great that would be for like a follow up later because the Mia twins aren't that
I
old.
mean,
Well, you feel cheapened though, because they have an asterisk
don't-
now. I want them to win that bona fide best can. So I could see
Well, I
a
mean,
place where an
you
injury could
don't-
work.
okay,
but
do you want Kageyama to get hurt and then Sugawara has to come in and be the hero? I'm down.
that's-
I mean,
yeah, I'd be into that.
you don't want, as of right now, you don't want any of the players to get injured because we haven't seen the garbage dump battle yet. Like, that battle is super important.
Someone's
as of
getting
right
hurt in
now.
the
Right,
garbage
but
dump battle, I
imagine,
bet. I'm telling
but
you what.
imagine like, okay, they go in kind of like half strength almost, or less than full strength. They lose. Nekoma feels like garbage about winning it. They're like, well, we didn't really beat them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like Kageyama was out or something like that. And then the next year, it's even more insane when they play because they're playing as like a full team. You know what I mean? Like
That-
just
that
feel
I
like
can
it
see
could
the hype,
slowly
yeah.
ratchet throughout the seasons.
I could see that for sure.
I'm just saying.
Have your tinfoil hat over there.
I don't think
no.
that's a tinfoil hat.
I think the only downside that would play at odds with about why this show's formula is so good is what you already mentioned. They make you care about both teams so much. People would rage if they saw one of their best boys on a team get injured for the sake of hype or kind of a
Yeah, but
dramatic
it's
story.
stupid as hell. Nobody's gotten hurt like seriously yet.
That is dumb. I'll give you that. Statistically, it's not possible. But
You won't
No.
even know until like the next season comes. Like, for all we know, someone could get injured during the Nekoma match.
she's dropping bombs right now, dude.
Yeah,
Don't-
but like
So-
I'm saying,
landmines.
to this point,
Don't
there's
step
been,
too
like,
hard.
Basically, no injuries.
Listen, you got Nishinora's finger sprain. What more do you
I
want?
want
What
something
more
that
pain
gets
do you
out
want
of the
inflicted
game.
on
I
this
want him out of the game
Why? Why do you want him out of the
because
game?
it ratchets shit up.
It makes
it
it
more
pop.
insane.
But then they have no libero.
Again,
If Nishinoya
maybe
is
maybe
out,
a first year
that's
will have to
it.
step up.
Ethan,
That's
you
it.
convince
No,
me. Ethan, you
Karasuno
convince
doesn't
me.
have a spare libero.
I'm not saying Nishinoya needs to be out of the game. I'm saying somebody needs to get hurt. I think it helps.
Dude, you sound like a volleyball mobster. I'm not saying he's got to go. Somebody's got to get hurt.
I'm just saying somebody got to get knocked off.
Somebody's got to go sleep in the fishes.
I don't
So-
know. I don't know.
But no,
If you want to find out, read the manga.
Oh.
Can't do
Manga.
that.
Manga, not
oh
manga.
no.
Manganese.
That's nice. That's nice. Keep
Learn
the science
about it.
over there.
Well, I will. Thank you.
Yeah, So, have you noticed any inconsistencies from the manga in this particular piece,
I
or is it
mean,
pretty true?
I haven't. You'll have to ask Shocking about that.
That is right. You literally said this
'cause
right before we started. It just blanks in my mind.
I mean, I'm not caught up. I'm still like in first season with the manga. Like, they're still trying to face Abujosai and stuff.
Oh wow, such a good match.
I loved the callback of everyone watching them play the match.
Yeah, that was
Like
cool.
literally everyone they've ever played was
Mm-hmm.
watching on their phones or whatever. And my boy Oikawa was out for a run, watched them win. He's like, "Fuck!"
Jesus,
Started like sprinting. I was like, "My man."
that would fire me up too. Like,
Same.
oh fuck, I wasn't strong enough then, and I'm strong now. So.
good.
There's another point I wanted to ask you guys about. What did you guys think about them going to the Nekoma match and like the alumni coach who used to be part of Nekoma, like I forget the coach's name for Nekoma, but
He was a short black haired guy.
yeah. He was the coach. Like, he used to be a player for Nekoma in high school, and now he's a coach for this other team. So he pretty much knows everything, like all the plays that Nekoma can make and everything like that.
Yeah.
So he's very familiar how Nekoma plays.
I thought that was super clever.
They were
actually.
trying, and we all know that Kenma, he's a, I had to say it, he's a lazy boy.
But he's a galaxy
He's a
brain.
god. Yeah, he's a galaxy brain god. He doesn't have to work anymore than he has to.
Absolutely, but he doesn't like to run. Like, he doesn't want to make too much effort of.
And that's why he's my best boy on that team. Easy peasy. But no, I get what you're saying. Very clever use of this. I think when we're talking about, we know that the Nekoma match is coming up as kind of the apex showdown for these two teams. How do you show a team's growth with a little bit of subtlety, but also showing that they have made moves too? He represents old Nekoma. They represent who they are now. So the fact that he was beat means that they have truly haven't been grown, because he is the culmination of the wisdom of what they used to be. And their representation of beating that shows that they are moving forward in just a couple episodes. It's a very clever way to do it. And I was watching him like, all right, it made me think, all right, Nekoma's on the up and up a little bit. Oh shit, they just did that on purpose. All right, pretty clever. So I wasn't very emotionally engaged, but I liked the way they did it. So
I don't know. I felt, I mean, like, I'm just going to go out here and say it. I think Nekoma's not near as good as Kurasano. And it's because of the way they showed him as like being so defensive, right? Both those two teams were extremely defensive. You didn't have this massive 7-foot, Aaron absolutely destroying the ball,
clapping balls,
people, right?
It was freaking scary.
Well, that
Jeez,
and
Aaron, scary.
I just think it's a little bit harder to feel the same level of like I guess fear, apprehension about the match if you don't see these like insane people also playing against Nekoma, right? Like, in fact, that match seemed like if they lost this, like, you guys are doggy crap.
You're
like,
done, son.
Absolute dog water. But like, so yeah, anyways, I think, I liked that they mentioned it. The only like 3 characters I know on Nekoma are, Kenma, Koro, and then the guy with yellow hair down the middle, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of them, don't care about him at all.
Don't care about Lev, the like half Russian, half Japanese dude who's like freaking tall.
Team.
Yeah, he is. He's not on that
cover art.
Cover, but you see him in the second season because he's a first year.
I thought he was on Date
He's in the
Tech.
training. No,
Date
whatever.
Tech. Yeah, in any
cool
case,
too.
Date Tech.
Fine.
Date Tech has the new setter that who looks like a
guy, yeah.
rooster
Yes.
man.
Absolutely.
So-
Rooster made freaking thug lord.
But I did want to say what I was really happy about was Asumane finally got a little bit of a like, he looks like an ace in this
yes, that was
this match.
That's the one.
Whereas
to see that
absolutely all the other matches he's been like very overshadowed by Tanaka or Hinata.
Yeah.
But this match he absolutely like is
he was
slapping
the
shit out
actual
of the
ace.
ball.
Yeah.
You know
Like
what I mean?
like it was definitely a new side of Asahi, especially from all the previous seasons that we've been seeing him. He's been like this super softy, and like he was all self-confident, like he was self-confident in himself and his own ability.
Haikyu percento.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, like a lot of I've gotten a lot of goosebumps from a lot of Asahi's especially his ace serves. Like,
Yeah.
you saw that ripple in that ball, like kind of like not as high level as Oikawa, because you saw anytime
Right. Or
like
Ushiwaka.
Oikawa, or
Ushiwaka's
Ushiwaka, that
crazy.
you saw that ripple in that ball.
Well, actually, like any of the good servers they've come up against, they do that same thing. And,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about this show is you can tell who's like really great at something specifically because they'll spend a lot of time putting a lot of frames into that specific thing, right?
Yeah.
So, and what I had been very worried about for Azumane, it was how like dog shit his serve was compared to all these other like aces. And especially versus Oikawa in that scenario, being like, he's just absolutely howitzering this ball.
And I think it's more of a confidence thing in those moments too, because many servers had said it. Everyone's eyes are on you when you serve. You control the pace. You control how everything starts. That's a good tie-in to Asahi's character, basically, being a confidence mess a little bit. But it's weird. A character like that, he's the ace. He can crush it and laser beam stuff. The entire team around him gave him not just the title of ace, but the praise of that title, and he still can't see it. It took him this season to really be like, no, I'm the motherfucking ace.
Right.
I'm here to play. I'm here to ball. So I'd like to see that he finally
He's here to slap balls.
I'm here to slap balls and take names, and I know everyone on the court.
I'm all out of names.
So I loved it. I feel like we got the apex here for him. Everyone, it's funny because we know that probably next season might be the last season anime-wise, because we're going right into semis and then the finals. Is that how it's going?
I mean, they're not even like in the semifinals yet. Like,
okay, then maybe we got more than one season.
They're still like in the big chunk.
They're in the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
That brings up my question instead of a point. Do you feel like we're reaching some character apex growth things here? Like they basically are maturing to the point where the mangaka originally intended them to be. Like, are they reaching their maximum kind of?
You would hope
state?
that the third years are right.
Right.
They need to be
Okay.
hitting their apex
yeah.
at the end of this tournament.
absolutely. Like at the end of this, because once this tournament is over, that's it. Like they're graduating.
Right.
Right.
They're gone. Like
What I was getting at is I felt I caught it in this season for some. Like now we have a lot more. This anime can run on for a couple seasons, so how much more character growth are we going to get out of these individuals?
I mean, we still have a lot of the people that we saw at the All Japan training camp. Like we have Hoshiumi, who, like, you know, personally,
I love Hoshiumi.
Freaking Hoshiumi he's
the owl
literally boy. He's the tiny giant, like
Incarnate.
incarnate. So, and you know, in the beginning of Haikyu, you know, Hinata was all about, I want to be the tiny giant. I want to be the next tiny giant, this and that and the third. But like, then Hinata finally seeing Hoshiumi in action and just like seeing Hoshiumi making those blocks that we all know Hinata has been struggling with, like trying to block, you know, big powerhouse spikers and everything like that. We know that he's not good at that. We know that Hinata isn't good at serving. He's finally getting good at receiving.
Right.
I'd say he's finally receiving.
Serviceable.
Yeah, serviceable.
Like he can do that.
Right.
But Hoshiumi is on a whole other level compared to Hinata. So like having those two stake it out and like seeing like which shrimp is better.
Yeah.
That
Shrimp Battle
is like...
2024.
Well, I think they did a good job of showing like Hinata's insane ramp this season.
Mm-hmm.
The question is like,
major
is that
character
rate
development.
Is that rate of change going to continue? Because I feel
It
like
could be.
There's got to be some sort of plateau at some point until he learns something new. Because that seems to be how he goes. Is he'll beat something into the freaking ground. He'll learn a new technique. He'll be garbage for like 2 games, and then he'll be great again, or 2 episodes. Whatever.
Well, that's the thing about that's something lovable about Hinata, because like, yeah, we know he's a novice when it comes to volleyball, because throughout his whole year of throughout his whole school year of middle school, like he had no volleyball team.
Right,
so
he never got to play.
He never got to play in actual matches.
It's sad, but I also feel like that's also kind of his weakness a little bit. The way
it is,
because he goes tunnel vision, and that's why I like the season 4 episode, like the first couple episodes where he becomes a ball boy in the beginning of because it untunnels his vision,
that whole
and then once
aspect of him actually being a ball boy and everything like that, because he actually, instead of actually playing, he's observing other players who are better than him. And not only that, but he's also like giving these players advice, especially that really huge tall guy who like he was like doing terrible throughout the whole youth training, and under his breath he said, "Oh, I much rather you be here than actually me." And he's like, "Oh, why the fuck did I say that?" Like, of course he wants to be here, like, but then Hinata turns it right around and says, "No, you know, like, you're like super tall, dude. Like,
yeah, I would
love to be you right now, like, you know." So
I will say, just as a slight rebuttal to what you said about his tunnel vision, is that is also what makes him attractive to all these other players.
He's hungry.
Like all these other people are like, look, no matter what, this dude wants to play, and beyond that, he believes 100% that he's getting the ball every time.
Well, yeah.
Which makes
and
him the perfect decoy.
That's why. Yeah, exactly. And Atsumo even saw that.
Yeah.
He's all like, who the hell is this guy?
Right.
Like,
which is why he's like, you're going to play with me.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing, right? That
Do you
is-
want to play?
I want to play a game. We're having Saw come up more and more. And it's kind of a worrying thing. But no, greatest strength, greatest weakness. Great trope. That's a really good, like, the thing that makes you strong is also kind of your Achilles heel, right? And until you can utilize what makes it strong, you know, he just needs to kind of step out, see the world, something new. And right now, do I think his rate of growth is going to keep exploding through? Yes, because he had that in the beginning of the season, that world kind of shattering view presented to him. Now he's here at the tournament to beat it down into perfection, right? This is the time he can have tunnel vision. So we're going to see a more and more hungry Hinata. I think he's going to snap on court and bite someone's ear off. Like he is so.
He's gonna be Tyson.
Yeah, he's gonna go full fucking Tyson and go bite Ken's neck. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, let me spike the ball, dude.
No, I don't know. I don't think maybe Kageyama, but I don't know about Hinata.
Well,
because
he's a Serene King now.
He's Serene King
so
now.
Zen.
yeah.
And
But-
then
So is Tanaka.
Hinata's like
But,
Tasmanian devil. Like he just like freaks out and spins.
But like that's the thing. That's a wonderful thing about Hinata is that like even though Karasuno was losing so bad, like especially in the third set when they were facing Inarizaki, like they were losing so bad. They were losing left and right. Like they were not scoring any points.
Yeah.
And they were so worried, like, oh man, like this gap is like getting further and further away from us. But then fucking Hinata turns around and say, hey, did you see my serve?
Yeah,
Like,
that was
my
really
receive?
cool. Like, that was so cool.
awesome. I can't wait to do it again. Like then he just lifts up,
Right.
He cuts in
The,
the noise.
well,
Well,
Cool.
I think they're just trying to show like, hey, let's not forget that we love volleyball.
Right,
And,
yeah.
And Hinata's pure love for the game.
Yeah.
And so I loved the scene where, Ukai keeps telling him, slow down, slow down, slow down. They're not listening to him at all.
Yeah. And then Hinata
Hinata
goes,
back and
I got it. Yeah.
Boom.
And then
Yeah.
oh
like,
man, that
you see
that
them all exhale.
whole like clip of just like seeing all of them go like and then you saw Suki go like
That was nice.
And
Yeah.
actually
God.
cry.
It-
like goosebumps.
Like I said,
all
Tear
the time.
Factory, the anime.
oh, it did well
5
me
to
up.
6 times I almost cried.
Welled up real bad at the end.
And Nirazaki, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
They
Inarizaki?
lost. Yes, thank you.
Yes,
And
thank you.
the Atsuma brothers Mia brothers went over to their captain Shinsuke and was like, "We're sorry," and they're like, "No, you're not.
No, you're
Yeah.
not.
And then he's just like, I love playing with you guys, and you guys are so great. Like I just
Yeah.
like, was almost bald. I'm like, this fucking guy.
It's a
is so
camaraderie
sick.
thing. Yeah.
I thought about you with animation because that final score.
So good.
When-
Overload.
Yeah,
When they
like,
both
when
helped.
they reached over to try and catch it, and then it cuts to the captain's eyes, and you just saw the ball hit the court.
Double chef's kiss.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good.
Chef's kiss on
And
that.
that's the thing. I think that initially with this show overall is what I fell in love with. Is that's the kind of animation I see in like a Demon Slayer final battle shit. And I was getting it day 1, episode 1, first Hinata spike, and I'm like, whoa, this is very beautiful to look at. And that was it spared in no way. The animators of the show know when to not pull their animation punches, right? Because it just everyone may be like, no, it's the moment, no, it's the plot, but the animation, what you're looking at, there can be, like you said, with the ball dropping in the reflection of the eye, there's a way to do things to add a lot more gravitas just visually. And this show is so sublime at being able to really pull off like that lunge set. That was crazy.
I have to say, Atsumo. Okay, we have. Why am I drawing
can
a
do this.
blank on?
Do what Ethan does. Just go. Blah, blah, blah.
This frickin' I said his name before from Abu Josai. Oikawa.
Yeah.
He is.
My homie.
He is.
Pretty Boy
He
Supreme.
is the great king.
Yes.
He is the great king. Then we got.
He so is.
Then we got Kageyama, who's just the king.
The Serene King.
The
Serene King now.
Yes.
What the fuck was that?
But I think Atsumo is got like the god.
The God King.
God King.
God King.
Because I mean, come
What a
on.
sick title.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, unless we see like the number one team yet, because we haven't seen the number one team in Japan yet. Like, I don't think I even know who the number one team is in Japan just yet.
I'm wondering if it's not like a translation thing where like, because everyone says Shiro Torizawa is disgusting. So are they?
I mean, they are, but
I'm
I
ready
don't
for
think
the
they
Shiro
ever
Torizawa.
won nationals. I don't
Really?
think. I could be wrong.
I
thought
think
they
they
had really
I thought they
just-
thought they'd runner up the
I
year
think
prior.
they
Oh,
did
man.
runner
Yeah.
up, yeah, but they're not like the number one that won nationals and everything like
Oh
that.
my
So,
God.
but like in a setter aspect, because in that aspect, we have Abujo Karasuno because of Kageyama, and now we have Inarizaki with this insanely scary freaking setter who can not only set but he can spike, and his twin brother can also like some sort of like set but not really.
He's there too.
But he's there too, so like
I
don't
was
know.
thoroughly impressed
Like-
by both of their skills.
Yeah, I was gonna say they.
I would have them
they
both
showed
on
up.
my team.
Atsumo with the ball can be so like it was even said like sorry but that ball is pretty low. He literally just like did like a freaking Janet Jackson kind of thing. It's just like here you go. Like
just kind of, and then just.
yeah, so that's high S tier level for me as a setter.
S plus double.
Well,
S.
you saw that one scene where he goes up like he's about to try to dump it or whatever,
and then
he
Yeah.
lets them reach over the net to basically
He's a
draw
smart
an
guy.
offside.
That's clever as hell.
He's very
I mean,
clever.
that's super high level sports stuff, like that happens all the time in all sports, like hockey, football. You try to draw the other team offside.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, absolutely agree. He's double S tier, at least as far as we've seen so far. One thing that I'm looking forward to potentially happening in future seasons is a little bit of that like twin connection that those two had being transferred to Kageyama and Shoyo. Like him also being able to set a little bit to Kageyama, who's an absolute disgusting setter.
Yeah.
Spiker,
That would
by
be
the way.
so
Yeah.
scary.
By the way, insane at spiking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, you saw
it-
his
Not
his serve's
necessarily.
nasty.
Yeah, not necessarily.
It's disgusting.
It wouldn't have to. I would love to see more of the libero setting because
Ooh.
in I
Which
think it was
they did
in
a little bit.
in the second
Yeah.
season we Nishinoya did do some libero setting.
Right.
We haven't really seen that again. Really.
Or bring Sugawara in and let
Or-
Bring
Kageyama.
yeah.
Sugawara. He is my.
Yeah.
He is
Well,
my.
Well, they did
Bring
do
the
that.
pain.
I think they did do that in the second season. They let Sugawara set, and then I think Kageyama hit it or something.
They did a
like
couple
that.
times.
I think
Yeah.
they took him out to punish Kageyama because he was being
Oh,
a little
that
That
too,
they also
yeah.
did. They
'Cause he was being a
definitely
little
did
turd
that.
bag.
Yeah. But now he's the Serin King, so he won't
Yeah,
be a
he's
turd.
serene now.
He won't be so much of
But
a
he's
turd
no more
anymore.
goody two shoes.
Yeah.
I found
Yeah.
interesting.
He's kind of a how you say a piece of shit now. So.
Yeah, you remember? Atsuma called him goody two shoes.
Oh, yeah.
He was fighting
Yeah.
with that for
Yeah, and then like Atsumo was trying to figure out like what the fuck happened to
Yeah.
the goody
Where'd
two
he
shoe.
go?
Like
Yeah,
where'd he go? Like
when he goes,
hello?
no,
Yeah,
I won't
absolutely
stop.
not.
I won't stop setting for you.
The thing with Nishinoya I found was an interesting backstory character growth thing because the way I found it a little comical that essentially it boiled down to I didn't know fear, but now I'm scared. Like I didn't know what fucking fear was, dude. But I thought it was kind of beautiful. As a Libero, you're kind of taking the brunt. Like that's kind of your position in the back, right? And the way you kind of freeform, you're everywhere. So the fact that he actively for the first time was like, I'm not really hungry anymore. I'm not really like happy or crazy excited to play, but I'm legit scared to actually take these or even try.
Which
And-
is a little bit nuts
I
because
know.
jump floaters are like, I mean, they're hard to get in front of, I guess, but they're not like insanely fast or anything.
Yeah, right.
So like, I felt that kind of sequence was a little ridiculous. How he's just getting demolished by this jump floater. It's like you step up or you step back. It's really that simple.
Yeah,
And so when the guy, one of the, I don't know if it's a first year or second year, calls out to him, move up. And he finally moves to go get it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
That was
was
great.
that was
Great.
That was the other pinch server.
Yes. I don't know.
He was a
his name.
second year. I forget his name. Something with a K.
So
We all
good.
did.
They did in the show too.
Irrelevant to our important characters
No,
right
of
now.
course.
So.
The Iraqi disease, you just kind of forget shit
Yeah,
happens. You just kind of let it happen.
But not only that, but we also have to mention my boy Bokuto. In the first part, of To the Top, he was all bent out of shape because he wasn't in the main arena and he was in the sub arena.
He's the owl, right?
Yes, he's the owl.
Or the seagull.
He's the owl.
He's the other guy's the owl. Hoshimura.
Hoshiyumi is the seagull.
I don't know.
There's an actual scene.
I was
with
waiting.
A seagull
I was waiting for
in
like
it.
30 minutes to find a way to seamlessly pull this up, and it was sorry, kind of seamless because we had a heated discussion before. Who was it Hoshimura is the owl or the seagull? We're like, look at him. He looks pretty owl, my guys. Like,
seagull. He's a seagull. He clearly looks like a seagull. Do you see the feathers in his hair? Because I do.
Yes, they all have feathers in their hair.
Not
And
all of them.
Well, a lot of them do. Well, the ones that look like birds.
Yeah.
We got a lot of
But
bird
anyway,
looking folk. But yeah, anyway.
Bokuto, he's all bent out of shape because he's in the sub arena and he wants to be the center of attention. And he's all like, meh, like, hella dramatic. And then, like, he finally amps up his game and it's like, oh, I'm the center of attention in this arena.
Well, didn't
like,
Hinata say something to him that made him like finally?
well,
get his
yeah,
shit
because
together? Or he saw him.
The second year setter who was kind of like the ringmaster of Bokuto.
It's kind of his leash holder.
Literally. Bokuto is a puppy. Like, literally, he acts like a dog.
It's perfect.
And like he was telling, Bokuto, like, Bokuto, listen, like, this arena, like, is only one court. Everyone's looking at you. Not only that, your little lackey is watching you, so you better do some magic. Yeah, your protege over there. And then there's Hinata holding up the Way of the Ace t-shirt, and he's
Way
like,
of the Ace.
like the eyes lift up in Bokuto and everything. And even when that match was over and they went to go watch Karasuno play, Bokuto even made some pretty good points, like especially with the whole like mini arc of Tanaka struggling to get spikes and everything. And even Bokuto said, man, like if I was playing right now and I kept getting blocked, like I'd just melt down. Like
I too would melt down. I would have probably freaked.
He was all like, I'm surprised, Tanaka is still like, not like breaking down, like he's just still amping up his game, like he's not giving up on himself, like he can still do this and everything. Like
they showed such a great kind of shift because that was the reason Azumane quit. It was because he was getting his shit rocked, you know what I mean, by Date Tech. And then for his name's Ryunosuke, correct?
Yeah, but I just refer to him as Tanaka because everyone in this show calls them by their last name.
Yeah.
Tanaka, he basically is faced with the exact same scenario that made his ace go cry in a corner.
Yeah.
Basically snap like a twig in power.
So such a great character moment for him. And then the fact that he's chill. You remember, it's like near the last scene, he's literally like meditating. And
and then he has a sweatshirt that says calm. And his face literally looks like Buddha and stuff like that.
Perfect. He is my best comic relief sometimes.
Absolutely.
Wasn't Tanaka your boy like in the first 3 seasons? I could have sworn Tanaka was your boy.
Oikawa has always been my boy.
No, well, I meant for like Karasuno aspects. I think the last time I was here when we were talking about it, it
might have been him or Daichi.
You were all hype about Tanaka.
I mean,
Daichi
he was
too.
an insane scorer early in the seasons, and I think he took a little bit of a back seat. But then he got his shit back like near the end of this match,
right?
And he was just absolutely laying into these dudes.
Yeah.
Mine could have been. It was my guy for Karasuno probably was Suki up to this point. I'm kind of like, as a favorite character who had that story, that growth, kind of, Ase, basically. He was, I think he had the most genuine, real, and I think it speaks to a lot of people that are kind of like maybe high performers in the thing they enjoy or job, passions, hobbies, whatever, that have all of this, like, it's obvious someone's good at what they do, but they still kind of lack that personal confidence. that is something that's very spoken to, I think, to a lot of
Fool.
people. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really is that. So, I mean, he's probably my new fave.
Well, if you really look at Asahi's story, you know, he got beat by Tech. Like, all of his spikes kept getting blocked and everything. Then he quit.
Baby.
Then, literally
Baby, that one is a little guy.
emotional, soft, you know, little puppy over there. Then, you know, he finally managed to come back into the game and everything. We see him develop even more and trying to get his confidence back. And then this 4th season, he's just slamming in all those spikes and everything like that. So then now he's like really back up on his game now.
Right.
That is good character development. I mean,
that.
everyone in Karasuno, like, major character development. This season, I think, was super important for everyone to just, like, amp up on their abilities.
Well,
and
it better be,
everything.
because they were not good last season.
It was kind of rough to watch at times.
It was very rough to watch, and it was really the synchronization. And there was that one scene in this part of the season where he misses Suki because Suki's just not jumping as high or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, oh,
Yeah,
we're not
right.
in sync. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, we're not
Yeah.
sync. Then they pull like a 5-person minus synchronized
Yeah.
tempo
Synchronized.
Yeah.
combo attack. Everyone was bum rushing the net. I was like, all right, this is gonna be some shit right
Suki
here.
is still my boy on Karasuno.
Yeah.
He's still my boy.
Peek the figure.
I liked
He's still my boy.
a lot of his kind of retorts this season were pretty good, but he didn't seem to have as much an impact because what his job was this season was to direct the ball away from him, essentially.
Yeah,
But like in
because
previous
that-
seasons, he goes up and he stops Ushiwaka. And people are
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
yeah.
Who's this
Well,
dude?
that was a big moment for Suki. Now with Inarizaki, we have this insanely good blocker, Suna, who like can literally manipulate his entire body to control the ball wherever he spikes it.
Perfect
Yeah.
Because
muscular
literally
control.
he's up in the air and he literally leans forward.
They did
like,
an
leans-
insanely dog shit job of explaining that. in
They
my
did,
opinion.
but they're
You
like
just see him like,
yeah, they
just
literally
like,
just turned the camera
Yeah.
so that he's sideways. But
okay.
there was a frame in the later episodes where you actually see his body like
do
turn.
it. Yeah.
I don't know
So
if I
you
ever,
probably
I
missed
must have
it.
missed it because
Yeah.
all I ever saw was his head go doink, and you're like, wow, very
All
impressive.
this power.
technique.
I think the reason why they did that was because we're in a pandemic, so like animation probably got cut because of like, you know, pandemic nationwide issues and everything like that. I mean, it got delayed because
Yeah.
the second part of To the Top was supposed to be in the summertime, but then they
Yeah,
bumped it to the fall.
It just seems like they were really harping on that as being like, you know, kind of their
I'm pretty
Suki's
sure.
foil for a while, and then they
Yeah.
barely
Just didn't
showed
do
that
it.
at
That was
all.
pretty-
So
I was
it was a
pretty
little
frustrated
bit
by that.
frustrating to be like, how are you getting beat by something we can't even see?
Yeah. You do like you'll probably have to go back and watch it, but you do see the animation of where his body, like his upper body, just leans forward.
Yeah,
and
even
he
with it
slaps.
animated, it still looks absurd. Like yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not a whip kind of thing like Lev in Nekama. Because
is that something that all like high level volleyball players are doing, like cocking their body like that? And he just figured it out or could do it earlier in people's careers.
I mean, I don't know volleyball, so I'm not a volleyball
doubt
I know as much
connoisseur, so
volleyball
I'm
as
very
is in
as
those
Haikyu.
literally
books right here.
This
Yeah.
is all my knowledge of volleyball.
And I will say they really talked about some really cool stuff about volleyball in this. I mean, we're going through a sports show, right? As you progress, you're going to get higher techniques. You are kind of at a knowledge base growing with them. It's not, this is how you spike. It's, oh, we have different configurations for different plays and you got to think ahead. So this
It's so difficult.
so right, I know, but there's just higher level play that you don't really think about in a sport.
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure.
So are you saying you knew everything they were saying? I mean,
I mean,
I'm
it's
not a big
fair,
volleyball.
in my opinion, extremely like logical stuff that
Then why does it feel hype when they do it? Right? If it's
because
so
of the
logical-
animation.
No,
it
I
has
mean, I guess-
nothing to do with it.
I get hype when they talk about what they just did. Like,
Because they
It's-
started
it's
as
awesome,
an
like-
absolute dog water team, and now they're actually like playing as a team. That's why it's so hype.
yeah, I mean, more just the scenes where it's like Was it the guy taking his girl on a date or something in this?
Yeah, that was great.
And him trying to explain it on a date was a very fun way to have exposition about volleyball.
I like that a lot.
That was funny. She's like, oh, that's fun.
So that character, if you watch the OVA, he's in it.
Really?
Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I might do that.
Looks like we didn't do the reading.
Because you saw like a little, like when that character came up in appearance, they gave you like a little subtitle on like who that person is, and he's the captain for a high school team
that got beat by Nekoma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They did mention that a little bit, but so I did want to ask a question. When do you think Hinata's going to start getting the actual notoriety he deserves?
As the tiny giant?
Not necessarily as tiny giant, but just like he was an absolute monster.
Just the acknowledgement of like him improving. Yeah. Honestly, I really don't know.
Because even the news was like pretty negative to them, even though they won.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have to look at it like you're actually there. This is the first time Karasuno has ever been to nationals,
right?
Like in a long time,
right?
Like they've never been to nationals, so this is like, and like a Sports Illustrated aspect of like reporters and everything. This team Karasuno is just like, who the hell are these guys? Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah,
they're not going to give him his comeuppance.
They're not. Yeah, they're probably not going to give
I don't need
Karasuno
another Naruto syndrome.
There it is. I was going to say, this is like a negative occurrence with you.
They're probably not going to give Karasuno the like the hype that they deserve in the universe that they're in right now. Probably until they face Nekoma, maybe. Or
well, I
if
mean, that last episode started that, right? Everyone's like, shit, these guys are great.
Yeah.
Like, Nekoma's screwed. And that was the first time, really, they've been given any real credit.
Yeah.
I just need some personal, like, notoriety for people other than Kageyama. Like, he's obviously
read the manga if you really want to find out.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to do that. They beautifully animated it for me to watch. Why would I do anything different?
What do we like? Come on.
But really, you can't read, and yet you got books. So
obviously, for show, we've said that so many times.
Paperweights.
Yeah, he found those.
Absolutely.
Oh, these are pretty colors. I'm going to arrange them on a shelf.
You went to a used bookstore.
Yeah, just bought everything.
You went to Mr. K's.
Yeah, exactly. Give me one of everything, please. Actually, most of those are from Mr. K's.
There you go. So I do agree with you. I think a lot of these shows, the guy who's putting in the work, the real freak in nature, is oftentimes by sheer merit of whatever the case may be, just not giving their attaboys. We saw it with Black Clover. We talked about it then. You see it with Naruto. You see it with basically everybody that's a shonen showstopper. Well, I guess Ichiko gets his because he barges in and makes his presence known. Like,
right.
Can't not talk about me now. I'm here.
I mean, even Deku, right? They still like think about him as the guy who got wrecked.
Broke his fingers.
Yeah. It's like he's a monster now, you know?
Yeah. It's maybe this just a shonen trope that needs to leave. Yeah. I don't know.
Just give him like something.
It is a shonen, so.
You know what would make it better for me? If there was like a weekly like volleyball magazine or whatever that came out, then they showed you sort of like a update that they do in One Piece where they'll show like bounties rising. Imagine if they showed like a player ranking and they'd like slowly like rising up the rankings. That would absolutely get my goat.
I'd be there for that. I think it'd be cool to show like maybe after first match you got
team ranking too.
Yeah, and like Hinata gets a blurb. Hinata gets a blurb, and then he gets a sentence, then he gets like a paragraph, and there's a column about him, and then like
I don't care about that. I just want to see him ranking.
You just want the rankings. You want the hard fucking numbers.
Also, and I don't think anyone's ever done this, but if they did, I would appreciate it. I'm not going to do it myself. I would love people to go through the episodes and figure out the scores of each player. Like how many we actually saw. Obviously, there's a lot that we don't get to see.
I bet that does exist.
But I feel like Hinata went off this last match because it seemed like at least near the second half, he was not missing. Like he straight up didn't miss.
I might look this up because I'm pretty sure you could find it.
You probably could. Probably someone who is still in quarantine has done it.
I was gonna say they're quarantine, like people going crazy. They're just rewatching it to hype during the delay, and they're just like,
you know what? Screw it.
We're going to research this.
Who got what points?
But I guess to wrap it really up. I mean, like final thoughts on season 4 episode. You know what? I'm gonna start over. Final thoughts, season 4, part 2. I thought it slapped a lot harder than the first half. Maybe that's just merit.
Well, I mean, remember, they were trash in the first half because they were like all disjointed.
Yeah.
So this is like them absolutely hitting on all cylinders.
Yes.
So it better be better than the first half of
All
season
Pistons,
4.
baby.
All of them. All
Yeah.
16.
Okay, so without spoilers, I would say we kind of know where this is going, right?
So before, I have to say this, before I came here, I listened to your second half of Haikyu, like your review that you did
The
during
first half?
No, not not part 1, because you did a part 1 review, but you guys also did a part 2 for Haikyu, I think when it was still airing, and
we might have
Season 4, part 2?
Yeah.
I literally just watched
I think it was
it
season
yesterday.
4, part
Here.
1. Season 4.
hang on,
There's literally no way.
Hang
I just
on.
watched it yesterday.
hang on,
No, I think it's season 4, part 1 when that was still airing.
I agree. We did
Yeah,
that.
that we did that. Yeah.
it is.
Uh-oh,
I'm going to tell you what what
she's
number
hitting the
episode
discography.
it is. You put it as episode 51, Haikyu, season 4 to the top, part 2, building up the hype.
Part 2 must have been incorrect because that was only part 1.
We'll have to
We
go back
hadn't
and change
seen
that.
this.
Okay.
Well, anyway,
Oh, it's there.
yeah,
I'm just saying,
it's
I
there.
literally
Yeah.
saw it yesterday.
It's there.
I literally saw it.
Okay.
Anywho, but yeah, I think
I don't like where this is going.
You-
We're off track on what's about to drop, and I think I'm
think
going to
you
get chastised.
gave it like, I think you gave part 1 like an 83 or something like that.
That
reasonable.
tracks, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
mean, that was the first time I think
I
when
don't remember
when I
what you
said
gave it.
Me
I
either.
don't remember.
we were getting to see Hinata's world shattered for the first time. What is he going to do with all this new information? And we're seeing it now. It's a natural progression. These kinds of sports show narratives need a very clear cut. This is where it's going to go. This is how we're going to get there. And it has to rise stake wise. You can't have this runaway system, maybe just by merit of it being sports. It's realistic. So I'm going to give this part an 89.
That's low.
You think so?
That was extremely
Maybe
low.
I could go clean 90 then. That's where I'm at. It's sitting in the
That's
90s for sure.
Still low to me.
Okay, what you got, boy? What you got?
I mean, part 2 was like a 97, 98.
Woo!
Like, it was fire as fuck. I think,
I don't think it was perfect, but it was definitely in the 90s for sure.
I mean, if
It
you're going
definitely
off...
relieved my blue balls.
Care to elaborate on that or not?
No, I think we're good.
Cue me checking explicit material box. It kind of, release the blue balls.
We always do that anyway. But no, I think, I don't know, like, if you take the whole of season 4, I mean, I don't see how you can't say it's like high 90s, right? Like, I think this overcomes all the, bad parts about the first half of the season.
Sure.
Because
But in the
it
first-
shows them using all that stuff they just learned
Yeah.
and we're getting their shit rocked about.
Yeah.
And making it like top notch, versions of themselves.
Because I did remember, I think, way when part 1 first came out.
Yeah.
I think you even said that you were a little disappointed of like no one on Karasuno was improving because Kageyama improved when he went to the All
Right.
Japan training camp. Suki improved a little bit, but not so much. But Hinata improved tremendously, even
Right.
though he was a ball boy. But then, like, here's Asahi just, practicing on his serves and everything like
And
that.
not
so,
showing any,
what
like,
the hell is
fruits
going
anyway,
on? Yeah.
And I think I still stand by it, but it's hard for me, if you go on Mal scale of like literally 1 to 10,
Yeah.
like to not rate any of these seasons a 10, I think is wild because they are masterpieces within themselves. If you just go based off the wording, right?
Okay, yeah,
Very
for sure.
good, masterpiece,
I
whatever
hate
that.
I
It's
literally
trash.
hate
Absolute
just
garbage.
having, like, the numbers, like, 1 through 10, and then next to them having, like, masterpiece, good, very good.
You would hate my
fine.
7
mouth.
point-
I'm like having
Yes.
so many 10s
Yes.
Like-
because it is a masterpiece. Is it perfect? No, but you don't give me the option for 9.5.
Yeah.
It's what the
Yeah.
word means. It is the piece that is the pinnacle. It's the master of what it's trying to emulate or be. So, am I saying this is what I say it's the ultimate or so close to that I call it a 98? No, but I mean it's in the upper echelon of the. I guess I'm not a big sports anime guy. I'm just very feet just getting wet in that space personally. But of the
Your
ones,
toes in.
yes, just kind of dipping in. But I'm really enjoying it. Like it is probably my personal masterpiece. So I'm putting it in the 90s. I
Well,
wouldn't
it
put
is
any
your
other,
first.
I don't think
I
there
would
be
say it is
nothing
your first
higher.
your first sports anime
Yeah.
shonen to watch, really.
Yeah,
So.
and then I jumped into some others, some older ones too. But funny enough, the one I have watched in the past is Prince of Tennis, and everyone says that one's trash. But I find
is
it a little
trash.
nostalgic, but because I kind of played during and around that time. But so I'm like being able to like see someone pull a fucking black hole with a forehand is pretty dope to see when your forehand is mad best. So it's pretty cool.
That's how I felt
If
like
they-
when I was playing.
I will forever see. I did not finish Prince of Tennis because I just find it boring.
You didn't like the twin dragon attack?
I was just like, no.
How do you have
this
two
is
rackets? Fuck it,
dumb.
like.
Because rules are for losers.
I'm like, no, this is done. Like, this is not what I'm interested in. Like, especially in a sports show. But if they did a reboot of Prince of Tennis and they did it right, then maybe I would give it a chance.
Okay. Okay,
But-
I see that because it's fun. The characters are fun.
It is fun.
They
Like,
should call it King of Tennis, though.
Ooh,
Because he's.
but then that would be a
leveled up.
sequel.
I'm
It wouldn't
down.
be a reboot.
yes.
Fair.
So
The fresh Prince of Tennis is what we're getting at. It's the fresh, it's a reboot.
And West Japan.
West Japan Warrior Rays, hanging out in the courts, spending my days, something like that. I honest to God, like cannot compel people more to go watch the show if you haven't. If you're not a sports person, or a sports anime person, this is the one that will make you a sport. It's the one that made me a sports anime person.
it made the anime brothers a sports people, and they
changed
even like
lives.
thanked me
Except-
on last episode.
And I mean, you're probably not the right person to have on to air this, but they didn't. Hinata didn't make it out of the first round of one of their things. They did like a bracket, sort of like you guys.
oh, did they?
do.
I didn't listen
And
to
he
that.
didn't make it out of the first round. It was like best boy or something. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind.
He's a semifinalist at bare bottom minimum. He's a good boy.
gonna
Whoever
have
he
to
was up
listen to
against,
that.
I was pissed.
I'm gonna have to
They
listen
better
to
say
that.
it.
I was pissed.
I mean, I think when we did a best boy,
I don't know if it's best
Shonen.
boy. That doesn't sound right to me.
I know we did a Summit SmackDown best boy, and I think I either put Hinata or I think I put Kageyama. I put one of them, but obviously like against fucking Nick and Sam, who
Yeah.
don't watch sports shows, they're not going to pick them. So
Good bracket. 2/3 of the
are you
podcast.
kidding? The waifu, our very first one, Summit SmackDown 1, I had no say in that one at all because I was busy. So I just let those two pick
That
the
had
bracket.
to be so infuriating.
Are you kidding? Freaking what's her name from?
Help us out.
It's an isekai. She has blue hair.
Aqua?
Ren?
Yes,
Aqua.
Freaking
Yeah.
Aqua won. I was
That's
like,
right.
what the fuck?
Freaking Aqua useless
So
as shit.
Dumb. It was so dumb.
Oh, still
So
my
dumb.
favorite. My favorite Summit SmackDown moment might be whenever Dio just gets shoved
Oh,
in,
that was
midway.
Yeah, that was Summit. That was Summit 2.
Yeah,
that
it's
was
right
that was
before
our
ours.
second
Yeah,
one.
Dio.
Yeah,
Just kidding,
we
it's me,
just
Dio.
literally killed off Hisoka, and she's like, "Why did
Which
we put
was
Dio?"
so shitty.
just Dio just came
That
in.
is good.
Dio like a fucking bulldozer. Oh
So,
man.
but yeah,
It's me, Dio.
Well, you know what? Thanks y'all for coming to class. We kind of just left it with talking about Anime Summit, but what are y'all doing right now? Plug time.
I mean, next week is gonna be our winter first impressions. So, and also our releasing date is going to be changing from Thursday to Fridays now. So so don't tune in on Thursdays anymore. Just tune in on Fridays.
Well, I mean, go listen to their old stuff. You can still tune in on
yeah,
Thursday.
not only that. Yeah, I mean, like we're on
Quite the
everything.
backlog.
Literally,
It's huge.
quite the backlog.
4
so,
years.
5 to be exact. Going on
my
6.
God.
Also,
Oh my
congratulations
God.
on you guys for your first year.
Oh, thank
So-
you. Yes, we're well on our way to number 2.
Yeah,
we got
yeah.
4-ish months before number 2 hits.
Yeah,
5,
yeah.
maybe.
Uh,
June, right?
June, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, it is.
Yeah, right?
Oh my god.
Woo! That'll be
Yeah.
That'll be Doso.
Our 6th year is going to be in July.
Holy
Fucking time
shit.
flies,
Yeah.
huh, guys?
Time flies when you're isolating,
I'm
folks.
already on. I like the podcast as a whole is on 5 years.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like on 3 years.
Isn't it
already.
wild?
Like that's crazy.
That's insane. But
Every time I like talk to people on Discord, like privately, they're all like, so how does it feel being a celebrity? I was like, I'm not a celebrity. What are you talking about? Like,
No, we're not celebrities, but any kind of,
Well, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say if you want to see it that
it's
way.
chill.
It's
It's
chill.
it's awesome.
all
Like,
good.
I love it. I just love the community. I love like all the people that like we talk to, like podcast wise, and like I just love the collabing and everything like that. So
We're definitely trying to get more collabing going. We have a
Yeah.
thick schedule for collabs.
Yeah.
lately,
Yeah.
so.
yeah.
Well,
But if
so
you ever want
happy.
me on something different aside from
Haikyu or
Haikyu
romance.
and romance,
Well, we're already on the docket for romance.
Yeah.
We just have to actually finish the shows.
yeah, that's
You're
fine.
you're kind of a resident. We'll break you out of this residency.
I mean, if
because-
you do like a Jujutsu Kaisen one, I'd be down for that because that's like right now, that's like my pinnacle shonen right now.
Don't look at me like that.
no, not as in I don't know. I have some words about that actually.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like Jujutsu Kaisen?
It's not that we don't
No,
like
no,
it.
that's for another episode.
The
But yeah,
hype has
that-
been unreal, though.
the hype is insane.
Well,
but
the hype has definitely gone down
Yeah.
for it because a freaking Attack on Titan's final season is out now.
Interesting.
So
yes, I get that.
and next season, My Hero is going to be coming out. So like it was up there, but now that like all these other shows are coming out, it's been going.
Yeah,
This,
that's
the,
quite-
this
quite
season
low.
does slap super hard, but I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, it's a fire season.
yeah. So when that finishes, we can probably talk about getting on because
Word.
that'd be really interesting. Hopefully, it sticks that landing because it does have all the chops being a great show.
It does, yeah. I
if
mean,
you wanna-
that first like
Core.
12,
Yeah,
yeah, it
right.
was like first like 10 episodes or something like that, like were fire. It's just like, whoa,
So good.
Okay, I'm in
Yeah.
for a ride.
yeah, undeniable.
Yeah, I'll watch it 100%.
I mean, it's
I'm
gotten
not
me
out
to
here
read
calling
it.
it masterpiece.
It's
Oops.
gotten me to read it. I'm just gonna say that
Interesting.
that
Fair enough.
something like that is like on a B star level because B stars. Fuck you. Okay.
I knew
Fuck
it.
you.
I knew it.
But I'm saying like on that kind of level where I've watched something and it's
Yeah.
like I can't wait weekly. Like I need to know what happens. Like that kind of thing
Yeah, true.
Solo leveling.
is quite a
it's got me there, dude. It's got me there.
Bro, if 137 or whatever doesn't come out now, I'm gonna lose
rip
it.
this chair an absolute new one. But honest to God, thank you so much for coming on.
you for having
Absolute
me.
joy having you every time, and we'll definitely have you on for more stuff that isn't sports and romance.
We understand you don't want to be typecast.
Yeah, we can't typecast that.
Not that I don't trust me. Trying to get Sam and Nick to watch
Yeah.
romance is a hard bargain, especially Nick because he's a fucking man and
he's the worst.
He's absolute worst. So he fucking thinks Japan Stinks is hilarious. Like if I don't,
literally
if that's like
very
not a
depressing.
morbid person, I don't know who is.
I think it's concerning at minimum.
It's quite concerning sometimes. I even had to ask him. I think I asked him on air, like, "Are you okay?"
Bro, who hurt you?
So, but I do appreciate like you having me on because
Anytime.
I know all this stuff and I've definitely watched a handful. But if you ever want me to just slide
Handful.
into something,
For sure.
interesting.
Hey,
Yes, we got you.
you're close.
Yeah, you're literally the easiest.
I'm very close.
Easiest,
Yeah,
only
I mean,
video
I'm right
guest.
here on the couch. So
Physically in the lab.
Physically in the lab. But if you want to see the lab and any of the past ones we actually have videos for, hi YouTube gang, we did one this week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
But if you got used to that audio only lifestyle, you can check us out anywhere you have podcasts and get your podcast fix, from Apple to Spotify to Google,
Yep.
anything in between.
We're on that
all
too.
of our links and
We're on
and
everything.
everything, and Anime Summit links will be in the
Yep.
links for all of the outlets for this episode. All of our plugs are as follows. We got ourselves an Instagram
Are as
at Weebology,
follows.
at weebology.podcast. We got memes and news and sometimes giveaways, but only sometimes. Don't come in expecting every day there be a freaking giveaway.
Since
or
we've only
something.
done one.
Hey, maybe
I mean,
we can
we've
do
only
more.
done one and we've been on the podcast
See?
for like 5 years.
See, guys?
See, don't come in
We're
expecting
doing
it.
fine.
But we've done one, so I can say, and sometimes giveaways on Twitter at weebologyp. We do stuff there sometimes.
Also, sometimes.
And if you
Hey, I don't blame you. Twitter's like weird.
It's
so.
Twitter's hard for me. It's a weird wasteland for me.
Instagram is easy because it's like, oh, I need to find a picture that's funny or whatever. My thumbnail.
So
oh, okay.
easy.
Bam.
Done. That's
Caption
perfect.
done.
If you want to give us some monetary love, only if you can, patreon.com/weebology. $1 and up gets you into our Discord with all the other patrons and guests like Danny and everyone else from Anime Summit and everyone who's had in the past. $3 and up gets you the syllabus sidebar, that lo-fi, high vibes, sometimes anime, sometimes not podcast that will probably be popping one off right after we record this one.
Indeed.
Sorry, we got schedule fucked this week. Real
been
bad.
wild.
It's been not great, and we can talk about me a little bit why on the actual.
It's my
syllabus
4
side.
essays.
It's a 4 essays.
You
We
just
kind of
want-
led up top with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to go old school, which is now old school, give us some little love. Say hi. You know, tell us to actually watch something, and don't have to sit on our couch to do it. Give us an email. weebologypodcast@gmail.com.
Collabs as well. If you'd like to do collabs,
Yes, our
hit us
collab
up on the
schedule.
email.
Our collab schedule is international, stacked, and now like a little too thick. I think.
Nah, we're good.
No, we're good. No, you know what? We'll do it anytime, anywhere,
All right,
anyone.
let's not commit
Anyone
to insane
just
shit
want
like
it.
that.
You know, aunts, uncles, pets.
We do
get
need
them
to
on.
get the fathers on.
We do need to get the fathers on. #do it for the dads. But I honestly think that's it. Thank you, Danny, again.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having me.
Yeah, thank you for bringing your sweet figure.
Oh yeah,
Thanks.
I mean, I have to, like, especially if there's a vlogcast and everything, I gotta like amp up
Do
your
it up.
lab and
Yeah.
everything.
We
so.
got-
Just
we
that bare ass wall back
yeah,
there.
Yeah, we got
that's
a
all right. I gave you this, so
Yeah, that's
True.
true.
You know.
She did give us that last time. We
It hasn't moved.
got to keep
Good.
upgrading the visuals. We have to keep upgrading the visuals, and until we
I
upgrade
gotta
the
give you
visuals,
more figures then.
Yes.
No.
Oh yeah, and until she gives us those figures, I'm Ricky.
I'm Ethan.
And this was Danny from Anime Summit, and this has been Weebology. Deuces.
Deuces.
We do sign offs now.